right. Hey, Vaughn. Thanks for joining me in our new official segment of What's the Word with Vaughn. It's really now coming through.
It's happening.
It's happening. We're making it happen. And I'm very excited that I'm here and able to speak to you about your recent experiences. So we're just going really deep into your experiences in the recent protests. We'll go in chronological order here. We'll talk first about the protest on May 31st, the protest that went from, it started in Nubian Square, and then it went down to downtown. Well, it went from the State House then to downtown. So do you want to talk about your experience? You even got interviewed by a reporter while you were there. So what was that like?
Exciting. Well, first and foremost, I showed up late to the protest.
In true Vaughn fashion, showing up late but still there.
Yeah, I showed up late, and the whole buzz about that event, because it was supposed to. Well, the meetup was at 6:30 at Nubian Square, and like that whole morning. Well, the day before, when I told my mom that I wanted to go protest, because I've never participated in anything like that, and I just felt this urge to just want to go out and just be with, I felt my people, to just, I don't know, show unity. That was the main thing for me. And when I told my mom, like, she was really upset. Surprised. It was weird. I'm like, why are you so upset? And then she tried to like cover it up with the whole Corona thing, be safe, you don't know, with all those people being out there. And then I don't know, it was just weird. And
that's a completely understandable reality that we're living in, that yes, we're dealing with the pandemic on top of like the racial injustices we've been facing since we were brought to this country on boats. So it's crazy to think that we have to always be fighting everything double time. And I totally get your mom's sentiment. My mother was very like, all right, if we're going to do this, I'm getting the right mask for us. She got us at 9.5s. Like, we were not playing. And if we're out there, we're going to be out there, but we're going to be as safe as we can possibly fucking be while we're out there. My mom's like, we're still social distancing. Like, social distancing while we're protesting.
That space.
Yeah.
So, and I actually even came across an account. I think it was Black Boston 2020 on Instagram. Or some account that like posted, what to wear, what to bring. So I was strapped up, and I had my little pouch.
I saw your goggles.
I had my goggles, because I heard things and I just didn't know what to prepare for. But at the end of the day, like, I was ready. Like, I was gonna go out regardless. But I also had book club. So I had another commitment that ended at the same time that the event started. So, I did book club, told my friends that like, this is what I'm about to go do. And they rooted me on. And I was supposed to meet, because I live in Hyde Park. And so I was supposed to meet some friends there. And for some reason, there was just trouble, like, trying to get there. I ordered like 3 lifts. They didn't charge me. But each time, like, they canceled. And I'm like, they know what's going on.
I heard a lot of people having trouble getting Ubers and Lyfts to protest. It's nearly impossible.
It was impossible. And it wasn't even for the destination. I set it for Roxbury Crossing. But even then, they weren't trying to have it. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll take the train. And I knew that the meeting place was at the State House. So I could have took the commuter rail, because I'm on the Blue Hill stop. I could have took the commuter rail all the way downtown. But then I was like, that's cheating, Like, I felt like that, like, I'd be skipping. It reminded me of that episode of Fresh Prince when Jeffrey was telling the story about the race and he hopped into the taxi and skipped the whole race. I was like, nah, I'm not going out like Jeffrey, man. I gotta really do the walk and just. I feel like it's all like, I don't know, symbolic, like just going through, because I haven't walked. I mean, this quarantine, I haven't been outside for a while, so I don't know. So I take the train to, I take it to Upham's Corner, thinking, although Upham's Corner is pretty close to Delhi, it's not as close as I thought at all.
Oh.
My friends are calling me like, where you at? Where you at? I'm like, oh, I'm like down the street at up the corner. They're like, down the street? No, you're not. I was like, what do I do? Like, I'm gonna miss everything. And then one of my friends was like, oh, just rent one of those bikes. And for the longest, I won't lie, I did used to side-eye those racks of bikes, because I'm like, who's gonna be riding a bike in the hood? Like, let's be real. But with this time period, like, I don't know, it just, people are getting out, they're being in the nature, you know, they're enjoying themselves. So I was like, you know what, F it, I'll go ahead and rent a bike. And I was out there on that bike, you know, in the street, like, yeah, I'm gonna go protest. And then, like, on my way there, I saw like little groups of people just everywhere holding signs, screaming, no justice, no peace. And I'm like, I'm on a bike with one hand, like, yeah, no justice, no peace, wobbling and stuff. And it was honestly like, I just felt so excited. Like, I wasn't even worried about all that other stuff that my mom was talking about. Or even my cousin has sent me something. Nowadays, we're getting all of our information off of social media. It's the fastest intake, I guess. And the tweet has said, like, what protest is gonna ask you to wear all black? They're asking you to wear that for a reason, so that you're not identified, so other people can, you know, start looting, like all these danger things. And excuse me. And so I was just excited to be around people. I haven't been around people in a long time, and I'm riding my bike. I finally meet up with one of my friends. She goes by the name of Guru, and it was just me and her, and we're like right there by Tufts Medical, and that's where all the traffic, like OD traffic, and I'm surprised they didn't like shut down any roads or anything. Like, traffic was still happening. So we was right there on Tufts Medical, and people were like outside their cars with signs, rooting everybody on, honking their horns. This one lady was giving out snacks, like these little kits with like juice and granola bars and water. I was like, yo, is this like a parade or what? Like, what's going on, you know? Because it's my first protest, so I didn't know what was happening and what to expect. We finally so I had the bike. Yes, I had the blue bike, and it started to be trouble, you know, because like I'm walking and there's crowds. So our focus now, from actually getting there to downtown, actually like trying to get there with people, is now like, where are we gonna drop off these bikes? So we're looking around, and like, it was crazy because we're walking one way, other people walking another way, and this one guy came up to me. He was like, can I use your phone? Like, I can't find my girlfriend. And that's when I was like, okay, I'm prepared for this. You know, I have a charger, you know, I can help you, you know. It was crazy. Well, his girlfriend didn't pick up the phone. We called her. She was nowhere to be found. And then that's when I had crossed the street, and this like random white dude had a little mic and was just like, hey, do you want to be on TV? I was like, okay, sure. Me thinking I missed, like, I'm thinking I missed everything, because everyone was just moving towards the Commons, the Boston Commons downtown. And it's at this point, I'd say, so time frame, I'd say at this point it was maybe 7:45. It was maybe 7:45.
Starting to get a little dark.
Yeah, starting to get dark. Definitely starting to get dark. And I couldn't, you know, you couldn't really recognize anyone because everyone had their masks, wearing all black, hood. So the guy with the mic was just like, hey, do you want to be on TV? And I was like, yeah, okay, sure. He's like, yeah, I'm just going to ask you a couple questions about what's going on. You know, please don't cuss or anything, no curse words. I was like, okay, yeah, I got this. Holding my little sign, my little Black Lives Matter sign and everything. And I was just like, in my head, I was thinking like, oh my gosh, like, what if he asks me a question that like I don't know the answer to? You know, that's what my main concern was. I had asked him like, what was the channels, like what channels was he responsible for? But I completely forgot, because I'm like just worried about like being prepared for like the camera and the questions. And then we just went. he did his little intro, and he's like, yeah, I'm here with Vaughn from Hyde Park, because that's where I live now. I'm a Dorchester girl for life, though. No, but I was like, yeah, Vaughn from Hyde Park, and he just threw out these questions like, what was one that really stuck with me? The one question that really stuck with me, oh, come to find out, if anyone wants to look, it's not on there, but come to find out the channel was NECN, New England, CN, whatever, whatever CN stands for. So the one question that stuck to me was, he had asked about, you know, with everything that's going on in the media, all the negative videos that we're seeing, it's really nice to see everybody come together. What are your feelings on that? And it was just like a flashback of like the video of George Floyd, information about all the other like women who were raped and killed and never heard of again, especially like the people who like did this stuff to them. Like all, it was just like just a flash before my eyes of everything. And I told him, like, you know, honestly, everything that's going on is really emotional. Like, it's really powerful. And I can't say that I'm like, I don't feel those emotions. Like, I almost like teared up and everything. But like, for me, it was just nice to see people come together and feel like we're on the same page, that, you know, Black Lives Matter. And now there's this big discussion, which I don't even know why, but like the whole discussion of like, oh, well, all lives matter. You know, I'm hearing that everywhere. And although I get it, that like, yeah, you know, all lives matter.
But if their statement was true, then Black lives would matter. And if you believe all lives matter, then you have no problem with us saying Black lives matter. But you don't.
Exactly. And so I was just like, oh, go ahead.
But just in contrast with that, like that experience, how did seeing everything that went down there, I know you were there late at night, you were there to see some of the cops start interacting with protesters. How did that feeling of that evening on the 31st compare to the rally that was held at Franklin Park?
Oh, yeah.
And what was that experience like?
So yeah, sorry, I did all the before stuff, but yeah, so we did end up, me and my friend Guru, we did end up on Sunday, right before the riots really got crazy. I feel like every area of downtown that we had like moved a little bit from, that's where it started to get crazy. And if any Bostonian has spent some time downtown, we all know that intersection where it's like Macy's, now it's AT&T, used to be
the corner mall,
Body Works, the corner mall, and Primark. So that's that little four-way intersection. And that's where like most of them were grouped, and that's where we were. So we were trying to find our ride down the intersection. We go down to the end, cops are lined up, like literally with their bodies, like lined up, forming like some type of gate. And we're like, we could see some spacing. We're like, oh, can we just, get under you? Can we just go over? We got a ride.
Excuse me, sorry, no. Ride. I just need excuse me. Like, just show me, like, I'm in this protest, but like, excuse me, could I just, excuse me?
Like, I see this human wall, but can I just,
can I just pass by it?
They were just like, no, go down the other end, go down the other end. And we're like, okay, like literally screaming at us, and we're just like, excuse me. So we go down the other end, another human line, like, go down the other end. Like, they literally trapped us. We were trapped in that intersection. And this is when I was like, okay, I need to go live. Like, I need the people to see this. So with that, like, my friend's focus, Guru's focus was, because she was on the phone with our ride, so her focus was like kind of the navigator, and I was kind of like, everybody look what's happening, like look, like I need to share, like just in case, like I kind of was like in the mix, and like I'm still well aware, but like it suddenly went from being excited, being with people and we're all on the same page, to all of a sudden like being scared for my life, like actually questioning like what do I do? Like, I don't even know what to do if I'm actually trapped in here. Like, I feel like it was one of those things where it's like, if you ever catch on fire, stop, drop, and roll, but like in this case, stop, drop, and put your hands up. And like, will that even be enough? But with that energy Saturday compared to the energy on Tuesday at Franklin Park, completely different. I mean, like, I felt safe at all time, at all periods. Even the organizers, made it a point to say, we're gonna let you guys go before it gets dark, because we know what happened on Sunday and we don't want that to happen here. And everybody was on the same page. I saw more white people. I will admit, I saw more young people too, like actual kids.
Yep, lots of kids. I saw babies. I was with my mom and a friend of mine and her white mom. So we had our white moms, our biracial kids got to stand with their white moms in these situations, because you can't be loving brothers all the time and not have something to say right now,
That's true. For real. I went with a couple of friends. It was hard to, and that's the other thing, because I saw that you were there, and like there were so many people, like at least I want to say like 100,000. I feel like it was so
right. I was trying to estimate how many people, and my mom's like, "Is there like 500 people here?" I'm like, "I think there's like 5,000 minimum." Like, I don't
exactly.
think 100.
And I'm on the phone, like, because where I was like more towards the left of the stage, and like a friend of mine was like, "Hey, I'm here by myself. I see that you're here. Like, I want to link up." And I'm like, "Just find me with my fist up." I got my fist up when everyone's like talking. I'm like, "I'm right next to this BLM sign with my fist up. Just look for me. Just look for me." And it was, I mean, we finally found each other, but it was like, and they were giving out masks, gloves, hand sanitizers. They also had water there. Like, it was completely different. And although
the doctor showed up, a lot of the teachers union was there. That I was proud to be a BPS teacher during that moment. But yeah, it was a different feeling, especially I wasn't there on Sunday, but I had very similar experiences to what you are describing in my own protest, my life as a protester when I was in college in New York, thinking that I was a badass and could revolt to everything. So it is really like interesting to see those contrasts. How do you feel the next couple protests that we're seeing and hearing about are going to go forward, as we still continue to fight for justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for Omri, for all the other folks? It's not over now that George Floyd's the cops who killed George Floyd are being charged. Obviously, the fight is nowhere close to over. But what do you see coming next?
Next, I mean, like, if there's anything that we learn from this, I mean, it should be that we're learning, right? So it's like, moving forward, we should take whatever we learned from the day before with us moving forward. So like, if you were there, even if you heard about what happened on Sunday and were there on Tuesday to, compare and contrast, like, we should just learn to be better and learn to maybe even try to strategize. I mean, I didn't do much research on like the organizations that were a part of it and organizing it as much as I should. I mean, moving forward, I'm going to make it a point to kind of see what organizations are putting it together, see how I can help, see what their strategy is, if they have exit plans, or even come up with some of your own, and just know that like, we're here like out of positivity and love and respect and understanding. And I think if you can't have those few things off your checklist with your intention on joining these protests, then you should stay home, like, period. If you come and you're like, okay, it's dark now, it's really time to rile up, it's really time to give it to them, that's not the point. Like, that's not the point. And so I think just people should continue to stay safe. I mean, know that there's still the whole COVID thing happening, so still wear your masks, bring your hand sanitizer, try to be as conscious as possible, look around your surroundings, don't go by yourself. I started, on my way to the protest by myself on Sunday, but I met up with people. So yeah, just those basic things. Like once it gets dark, just know like you're putting yourself in the danger zone more now than ever. So if you do plan, I mean, because I know some people. So that from Tuesday, I found out from that channel NECN that people took it from Franklin Park and went to the State House again.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, from what I saw when I tuned in, it seemed like just like a small group of people, and they were just out there with their message and didn't cause much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
Yeah.
still,
All right.
it's dangerous.
It is dangerous out there, and I think everyone should remember to stay safe, but keep fighting, because that's what we're here for. We need to keep fighting, because the fight is clearly not over until we get some equity in this fucking country, and that's it.
Right.
But thank you, Vaughn, for What's the Word with Vaughn. This is our first edition, so we'll talk to you again in a couple of weeks and get your next recap on probably the next couple protests and what else is going on, because that's our events now. That's where we go out.
That's our life.
Yep.
Like, oh, are you going out? No, I'm going to protest.
That's it. All right. Appreciate you. Be safe.
Bye.
What's the word?